What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Then We Eat. Or if you haven't been here before, welcome. On this week's episode, we're going to be trying something just a little bit different. It's a traditional recipe with a bit of a twist, stuffed in a bit of a twist. So on this week's episode, we're going to be making swineherd's pie stuffed in a potato skin. What is swineherd's pie, you might be asking? Well, you've got cottage pie, which is basically shepherd's pie made with beef. You have shepherd's pie, which is made with lamb, and a shepherd deals with lamb and sheep. So, swineherd's pie is essentially shepherd's pie made with pork. And what is pork called? Swine. Hence, swineherd's pie. So if you watched our short from the other day, we've got the baked potatoes in the oven right now. We actually just finished shooting that short. So while they're in the oven, let's carry on with the rest of the filling that goes in our potatoes. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take some onion, clean it up, and dice it. And I've got another onion here because they're pretty small. If you saw Steve's video last week, you saw there was a bit of a struggle with onions. So if this is no good, I'm just going to throw it out. Little inside baseball for you. We actually just finished filming his. You could probably see the pot sitting on the counter behind me. So this one's pretty moldy. I don't know if I'll be able to get anything out of it, but we'll give it a shot here. There we go. Doesn't leave much of an onion, but we get a little bit anyway. Quick cutting board change. The last one is a little bit warped. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to dice our onion, which is basically just cutting it into really small little chunks. There we go. We got our onion in a nice little dice. Just kind of tuck that into the corner of our cutting board. Next, we need about 3 cloves of garlic. As Steve said earlier, these cloves are a little bit smaller than, or earlier, I guess for you, that was last week. But these are a little bit smaller than regular garlic clove, at least in my opinion anyway. I expect much bigger clove. So I'm probably going to use a little bit extra. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cloves here, but they're pretty small, so I'm just going to use all 9. I mean, I don't even think that counts as 1 clove, at least in my opinion. So clean all these up. Like Steve mentioned last week, if you just give them a little whack on the side, you'll be able to peel that skin right off. Once you got them all cleaned up, we'll give these a chop. I've mentioned Steve's video a few times already. If you haven't seen it yet, I'd highly recommend you check it out. He made chicken chili. Excellent episode. You definitely don't want to miss it. Should mention too, this may seem like a pretty good amount of garlic. I really like garlic. If you're not a big garlic fan or you don't want quite as much, just don't add as much. Pretty simple. But if you're like me and you're afraid of vampires, this will keep them away. Once we got that stuff cut, we're going to turn our induction on to about medium heat. Let that come up to temperature. In the meantime, I have some carrots that we cut into slices and froze. I'm just going to open these bags up and I'm going to probably quarter most of these just to make them a little bit smaller for the recipe. Once that gets up to temperature, we're going to add just a splash of oil. Shouldn't need a ton because we are putting ground pork in there, but just a little bit just to get it started. Then we'll add our ground pork. We'll break that up. Might be a little hot, so we're going to turn it down. And after a minute or two of cooking, let's add our onion. And once your ground pork is brown and your onions are kind of a translucent color, we're going to add our garlic. Bring out the aromas and the flavor of the garlic. I don't like to add it too early because if you burn it, it's not very good. And once your garlic has kind of brought out the smells and the aromas, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. It's just going to give it a nice smoky flavor. 3 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And we'll let that kind of sear for a minute. Bring out the aromas and the flavors in your spices. Then we're going to add about 1.5 carrots. Mine are frozen, so they're a little bit softer to begin with. They don't need as long to cook. If you're cooking a fresh carrot, you're probably going to want to add it around the same time you add your onion. I did end up cutting mine a little bit smaller as well, just because we are going to be stuffing them in the potato skin. So you don't want a huge chunk of carrot. It won't fit quite nicely. And in addition to that, we're going to add about 1 cup of corn. Now I really like corn, so I may be a little biased, but to me, you can't have shepherd's pie, swiner's pie, cottage pie, whatever you want to call it, without some corn. Now let's add some liquids. We're going to start with 1 cup of beef broth, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire, 2 tablespoons of our patented bold and spicy mustard, and some pepper. No salt, because you added Worcestershire, it shouldn't need any salt, but we are going to add a little bit of pepper to this as well. Going to give that a quick stir, get all the ingredients well incorporated together. Then we're going to let that cook down for a few minutes. And while that cooks down, our potatoes are done. So we're going to pop them out of the oven, put them back on the plate we used to put them in the microwave. Just help cool them down a little faster. They won't be on the hot pan anymore. And then it'll be time to start stuffing and making our potato and getting it ready to go. I should mention too, I think I forgot to say this when I added it, the Italian seasoning, we did just put a short up for that. So if you want to see that, you can check it out above my left shoulder. That was my right shoulder, but over this shoulder. So I got a little trick for you too. I did forget to add a little bit of flour when I added the spices. You want to cook it at that point so the flour can kind of cook a little bit. Otherwise, you end up with a really floury recipe. But take a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and you add that. It will thicken up your gravy just a little bit more. And there you go. As you can see, because it was quite warm, that cornstarch slurry worked very, very quickly. It's nice and kind of thick now, not like pasty thick, just like a nice thick filling, exactly what you'd want. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop this off the heat, set it aside for just a couple minutes, and we'll work on our potatoes. And there's our potatoes. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put them on a cutting board so we can cut them up. Now to cut these, it really doesn't matter. I think a lot of these are going to be easier to fill and eat if you put them on their side and cut them this way. They may not be as high, but they'll be much wider. Just like that. Again, turn it on its side. And try to hit as close to the center as you can. And there you have it. So we got 8 potato halves. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just take I've got a small spoon here. You don't want anything too big because it's going to be a little bit of a fine work. All you're going to do is cut out the middle of the potato. One thing I would recommend is as you're cutting them out, try to leave a little bit. It's not going to be easy, but try to leave a little bit of potato there, just to keep the shape. Something kind of like that. Now, there is another trick you can do to this to try to keep a little more of your potato in. If you take a paring knife and you run it just a little bit inside the potato on an angle tipped towards the inside, so like this, instead of like this, more this way, and run it around, it should pop out a little easier. You'll also keep a little more of a shell, I guess you could say, around the edge of the potato. Unless you have poor knife skills, in which case, it really doesn't matter anyway. You'll end up with something kind of like that. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not that worried about it. I'm not going to do that again. I'll just keep scooping them out. But it is another option if you're a little more concerned about it. And there we go. So we got 8 of them hauled out. And now we have a bowl full of the beginnings of mashed potatoes. And to our potatoes, we're going to add approximately 1 tablespoon of butter and about 1/8 of a cup of milk to start. If we need to add more, I'll add more. But I don't want to add too much and make them too runny. I do think it needs a little more milk, so we'll top it off to about 1/4 of a cup. So we'll add another 1/8 cup. There we go. I'd say that's about the consistency we're looking for. Now it's time to start filling them. So we'll just take a spoon, we'll just fill the potato. And tell you one thing, that mixture smells pretty good. I wouldn't overfill it because you do still need to put potato in, but I would pack it pretty tight and pretty much fill it right to the top, and then that way you can kind of put the potato over top of it. And there we go. Something just like that. Let me just clean off my hands and then I'll put potato over the top of them. We'll take some potato and we'll take a potato and we'll just try to spread a little bit of potato over the top of each one. Something just like that. Now you do want to be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to end up with an excessive amount of potato. Shepherd's pie is meant to be pretty even at best, so you don't want like a huge mound of potato on there, but you do still want some potato. And the other thing you could do, if you're a little more adventurous than me, or smarter than me or something, you could also pipe the potato into the potato. Probably be a little bit easier than trying to spread it out. So there we go, 8 of them done. I do have a little bit of extra filling and potato, so you can either make another little one if you've got somebody that doesn't really like potato skin, or you can save it and do something else with it. It really doesn't matter. One thing I did find when I was filling them, if you're using the back of a spoon and kind of squishing it down or flattening it out, the potato will stick to the back of the spoon. It will also stick to the filling and it'll start peeling it all up. So you just have to be really careful. It is probably a little bit easier to just pipe it in with a bag. So one last step before you're done, just take that fork that you used to poke your potato holes and you're just gonna kind of use it to create little ridges on your potato just so that they crisp up a little bit and it's not just flat. There we go, something just like that. And one final step before they go into the oven, just sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top of them. There we go. So these are going to go into a 350-degree oven for about a half an hour, and we'll come back when they're done. And after about a half an hour, we are done. I should point out though, I cooked it closer to about 400 for a half an hour. I did it for about 20 minutes at 350. Then I turned it up to 375. Then I cooked it for another 10-ish minutes at 425. So if you just do 400 for about a half an hour, you should be fine. And this is what it turned out to look like. It looks pretty darn good if you ask me. So let's give it a try and see how it is on the inside. Well, as you can see, looks exactly how you'd expect. Nice filling in there, thin layer of potato. Filling kind of shrunk down though, so it's harder to see it, but it is under there. You get that potato. Let's see how it actually tastes now. That is excellent. I'm a big fan of ground pork, and it is very, very good in this. It's spiced terrifically. Now what you could do, instead of using ground pork and spice, if you use the spiced sausage, that would work really well in this as well. Then you wouldn't have to use the spice or the ground pork. You could just use the sausage. Get the best of both worlds. Not to mention, the potato is great. Nice crunch or crispiness from the potato skin. A nice flavor from the potato skin with that oil, salt, and pepper on there as well. Very, very, very good. I would highly, highly recommend trying this. It gives it a nice little unique presentation, just kind of served in that potato cup instead of just slapped on a plate. Looks really, really cool and really, really good. So that's it for this video. Hit like if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload next. We upload a new video every Friday afternoon. Comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see next, or better yet, what did you think of this recipe? And please share the video with all of your friends as well. The more eyeballs we get on the videos, the better it is for us. It helps us a lot. Oh, and don't forget, first we cook, then we eat. So good.